I can understand that the paranormal stuff is sort of hard to get a grip on, and everybody knows there's certainly an abundance of it all over YouTube these days, and a lot of people started having experiences after 2012. I did, we all know what the media made out of end of the Mayan calendar, and it wasn't so much that it was the end of the calendar, it was just the end of a cycle. The calendar continues going. In India, in Vedic tradition, they also knew about these cycles. They called them yugas, and we're at a particular stage in this cycle now. But at any rate, not only do we have funny stuff going on here, but then a lot of the other things like channeling, you make of it what you will. Channeling is one thing when you hear someone, oh, they're just making it up, and then say, for example, someone channels something to you personally, and they tell you what you were thinking about yesterday at 2:30, when there's no way that anyone could be inside your head and know what you were thinking at 2:30 yesterday, but and you know that they know, and when things like that start to happen, then you know that it's not all a bunch of little atoms and quantum mechanics and all this sort of stuff, which not to ridicule it, it's an admirable way to sort of try to pierce or understand reality and pierce this veil of why everything is here and why there's something instead of nothing and all that sort of thing. But the harder they look for something solid, the more difficult it is. So you can't locate gravity, you can't locate matter, you can't tell if an electron is a wave or a particle, and nothing's there unless we're there to observe it, and so on. So it appears that reality is a sort of a hologram, which we project, and then we also participate in at the same time. A Holographic Universe, which is a very good book by that title. It came out about 25 years ago. So anyway, when universes require no space to exist, then the matter of how many you can store becomes a moot point. So when you're in a reality like this one, and this is all that you perceive, of course you can't make it, it's, for many people, it's just theoretical about what else there could be, out there. But crystals get used as a metaphor a good bit in the New Age business. And crystals, what is a crystal exactly? Multifaceted, multi-angled, directionality, axes, X, Y axes. So once you begin adding planes and axes to realities, then you begin to have all sorts of possibilities. Now, we know about past lives. For example, past lives, many children have told stories when they were 5 years old. Daddy, do you remember this or that? And, remembering specific details of buildings, people, towns, events, all sorts of things. There's no way they could have known. And then a little looking into it, research is done, and they find that it's all true, that the child lived 150 years ago in a certain place and is remembering it. So that's a past life. Past life, why would you remember a past life now, unless there's some kind of permeable barrier? Now, past and future lives is one thing, but also there's a possibility on this axial universe idea where there are parallel lives. Parallel lives can go off your timeline and go into shadings of variation. So in this timeline, say you were born at such and such 2:30 in the afternoon on September 18th. Well, that kind of stamps you with a bit of a barcode thing as per your temperament and things. And I don't want to get anything really into astrology, but I think there is something to that in terms of the universe when you come in and so on. And in each of these shadings, these parallel timelines, you can be slightly different. A little bit like you, mainly like you, but less like you the further along you go. So experiences with these, well, how do you know what's going on in parallel lives? Well, in a sense, you're drawing information and you're drawing knowledge, skills, learning, experience, really, from these other ones. They're leaching into you and you are leaching into them as well. So issues that you have here that you may not have there. You might be different, married to a different person. You made a different life choice at some point. And you get to glom on to that experience as well. All these experiences, gather and are report to the higher self or whatever. I don't pretend to know about that. But anyway, I'd like to go more into my experiences with parallel timelines, but this talk has gone on long enough, so I'll report back later on that.